Wow guys, I know it's been a while, but welcome back. I know, I've been busy. I've been really busy. But I'm here. Now 2023 has been a great year, but mostly specifically it's been a great year for the box office. So if you know me personally, you know I'm a movie guy, but I know I am late. You saw the title of this video. I am very late because I've just been so busy. I didn't really have time for movies, but I watched as much movies as possible, especially the ones that made the trend, that were out, that were popular, and obviously the ones that are bubbling under. So I watched as many as I could. So 2023 had bangers and also had disappointments. Or should I say, a lot of disappointments. But I don't want to waste any time. I just want to get into it. Just remember, this is my list, my opinion, so don't get your feelings involved. Okay, so let's just get started. Yeah, just a reminder, it's a slight bias. A slight bias. Let's get ready to rumble! Number 10. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. His acting is very mid and he's always running in all of his movies. But I specifically do love the Mission Impossible movies. They are just so thrilling, just action. This one was so good, a very good climax and an excellent final act. The stakes were high and it was very entertaining. There were amazing action sequences and more suspense building in every scene and great tension within every scene, and every character gets involved. It's just a brilliant action movie. Only problem for me was Tom Cruise's acting, and I've seen the trailer way too many times, so it kind of messed up my enjoyment while I was watching the movie. Trailers really tend to mess up the experience for you, and they show every single thing like they're messing up, they're spoiling the experience. They just show too much, and if I didn't watch the trailer, I would have enjoyed the movie way more, much more. I definitely would have, but regardless, still a good movie, still a great action, and can't wait for part 2. Number 9. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was the only good movie, the only good MCU movie of 2023. Like, I haven't seen the Marvels, but I don't care. Yo! But this movie exceeded my expectations. I didn't really expect the movie to be that good. What made this movie good was the emotion, the balance of the emotion and the humor and the seriousness, and also shedding light on more characters and diving deep into certain characters. Mainly shedding light on Rocket and his origin story, and just building more character development and building a emotional attachment towards Rocket, like such a funny animal character that you watched laughing in the first 2 movies, and all of a sudden in this one there's more of a seriousness, and they perfected so well. But the movie was just great overall. Great set design, great visual effects, great action sequences, and an excellent villain. The villain is such a great actor and he did an excellent performance. Really stood out of the movie. This is a movie that really made me emotional and I enjoyed it a lot. It's just an excellent 3rd installment and one of the best trilogies of the MCU. Number 8. They Cloned Tyrone. Probably the most underrated movie on this list. Jamie Foxx and John Boyega in the same movie. What? It's just excellence. And the plot for this movie was crazy. Confusing in the beginning, but it takes time to reel you in and it shows you what's really going on. And it becomes more interesting and intense along the way. Again, the plot was well done, the action was good, the acting was excellent, top notch, and the humor is perfect, the emotion, the seriousness is set so well in certain scenes, and the camera style, the camera work, the cinematography was just so unique and so well done. Jamie Foxx is just such a versatile actor and individual. And John Boyega did an excellent American accent. Like, I really thought he was American. For UK actors to perfect a different accent, like, how do they do it? But if it's the other way around, Americans doing British accents aren't really as, it's totally different and not really that good. There are exceptions, but nah. But John Boyega really perfected that accent. I really thought he was American, and he just did an excellent job as the main protagonist. I can't forget Tiana Paris. She stood out. A great female lead, a great actress. It's just eerie, shocking, suspenseful movie that happens to just make you laugh as well. Number 7, John Wick Chapter 4. I can just explain this movie in layman's terms. Action, action, action. A good opening scene and a good ending. Action sequencing in this movie was well choreographed and well coordinated. The camera work was done really well. A lot of standout scenes and memorable moments. An excellent cast and exceptional acting from Scott Adkins. And Bill Skarsgård as the antagonist. Every action scene was done so well and all the stunts are just so extreme. I have so much respect for stunt doubles and stunt coordinators. Like, their work, it goes overlooked. It's so unnoticed and overlooked. There's not that much respect, but after watching this movie, I have so much high respect for them because their bodies go through so much work. This movie just had a perfect conclusion and Keanu Reeves just brought this character to life. I don't think John Wick will be a household name, unlike, James Bond, where every actor has played the character. A lot of actors have played the character, but John Wick won't have that, because it's understandable though, because that's what makes it so unique. No one else can play John Wick. After Keanu Reeves has played John Wick now, I don't see any other actor taking on the character. But anyway, I enjoyed this movie, and this is definitely one of the best, not only one of the best action movies of 2023, but one of the best movies of 2023. Number 6, Asteroid City. Wes Anderson did his thing with this film. Asteroid City is a complicated romance, comedy, sci-fi. It's complicated. It has a star-studded cast, amazing cinematography. Wes Anderson just has such a unique style when it comes to his filmmaking. If you're familiar with Wes Anderson, you know what I'm talking about. He always has the same aesthetic, unique style of filming, and a lot of unique characters. His directing style is just so unique and I love it so much. And he always makes his movies serious while randomly putting in some humor that just makes you laugh. It's just contagious. The dialogue and the amount of memorized lines was performed so well. I just love the final act when you realize that it's a play within a film. That's just cinema. That's perfection. This is close to a masterpiece in my opinion. The acting is amazing. This whole movie was just so pleasing to watch and funny, of course. Number 5, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. One of the most fun and entertaining animated movies I have ever seen. What makes this movie good is obviously the animation style, like similar to Spider-Verse, but it's more rough drafted. It looks much different than the Spider-Verse animation, and it looks very imperfect, but the imperfection is just what makes it so perfect. Also, the voice casting is amazing. Especially for the turtles, like the voice actors are teenagers and the turtles are really like teenagers. This is the most accurate teenage turtles. I felt like I was watching myself because they mentioned a lot of things from pop culture. They mentioned anime, they mentioned Drake. They're just more accurate as teenagers and they just so fun and they just make you laugh. It's just a fun movie. The action is amazing, the acting stands out, the animation stands out, every character stands out. The song selection for each scene is just so perfect. It's just a fun movie. I mean, it's mostly for 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, around that. That's mainly the target audience. But even for me as an adult, I enjoyed it so much. It made me laugh. It was super entertaining. From start to finish, it's just a great movie. Number 4, Killers of the Flower Moon. In layman's terms, 2 goats making a goat movie. At this point, Scorsese should just be considered DiCaprio's director, because they make a lot of movies together. They've always made great movies together, and this movie didn't disappoint. Arguably the greatest director of all time with arguably the greatest actor of all time. I loved this movie. You really need to focus though, because it's a lot, because the story is intense and it's based on a true story. You really have to love acting and filmmaking if you really want to watch this movie. Because I'll be honest, this movie is not for everyone. The performance from DiCaprio was flawless. Only problem was De Niro. His performance was really mud and boring. Like, he makes that same constipated face in all of his movies, you know. Like, bruh, go to the bathroom. But the story was intriguing. Like, Scorsese and DiCaprio worked together so well. Like, the directing was really well. The storyline, like learning about what really happened between the Osage and the Jews and what the whole thing, like, is just so bad and intense and heartbreaking, but at the same time, watching it, the film was just so done so well. Very sad and intense, but the performance was really well done. I enjoyed this movie. Number 3, Maestro. Now, to direct and act in a movie is very hard to do, but Bradley Cooper made it work with this one. His performance was just so good and so well done, to the point where I didn't even realize and remember that it was Bradley Cooper. Like, I really didn't recognize him. Like, I have a total different view of who he is now, because I thought he was really a one-dimensional actor, but he really has range. I just admire his hard work just to learn how to compose for this movie. And it's just a confusing story for me personally, but still I enjoyed it and it kept me interested. It was just so intriguing. But what also stood out for me was the cinematography, the camera work. It was just so unique, such a unique style of filming and directing, and it was just aesthetically pleasing to my eyes. I love how the film in the beginning starts with the black and white, and then later it changes into color. I was just fascinated by the performance, the cinematography. Like, it was just a well-paced movie. Number 2, Oppenheimer. Arguably the most anticipated movie of the year. Just the promoting of the film alone, all the memes, the Barbenheimer memes, the promoting of the film that they did with the Barbie movie. It was just genius. It was very clever. But this movie, while you're watching it, it took its time to be good, because you really have to be very, very patient. Most of the time I didn't really understand what they were talking about, just science stuff. But the cast was just stacked. The performance was amazing, especially from Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt. The cinematography was just exceptional and perfect. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. What do you expect? Nolan did his thing. If you know, you know. The music worked well with every scene. Just the whole story of how Oppenheimer reacted and realized the consequences of making the atomic bomb. They just put you in his shoes and you feel what he feels and what he experienced. And it's amazing how the mood shifted. The second half, it becomes a totally different movie. In the beginning, it's just this quiet, mellow vibe. And then halfway, the mood changes and they use the cinematography. They use production and visuals to help with the mood. And it becomes more intense and builds up suspense. This movie might be 3 hours long, but it's still a good watch. It's just great cinema. Honestly, not perfect, but still good work, good movie. Filmed very well, and Christopher Nolan did his thing. He just did his best with this movie and it delivered. Number 1. What do you think number 1 is? You know! Let's go! Number 1. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This was so obvious. So obvious. What can I say? What can I say about this movie? Movie of the year. Movie of the year. Go watch my review and ranking videos, and then you understand what I'm talking about. Go watch the movie if you didn't. Why didn't you watch the movie? Go watch it. If you don't understand what I'm talking about. If you did, you'll know what I'm talking about. The animation is amazing. The story is amazing. The voice acting is amazing. The music is amazing. The score, the soundtrack. This movie really elevated with the animation, the visuals, and the whole essence of comic books, and raising the stakes of Miles and building more character development in Miles. And not just in Miles, but Gwen as well. This movie is just pleasing to the naked eye. I've seen it probably 4 times now. Twice in the cinema, by the way. That's why it's number 1. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope your 2023 was really good, and I hope your 2024 does better. 2023 has been a great year for me, especially, I have to say this, especially when I saw Will Lindley in concert. I saw Will Lindley in my first ever concert ever, and after that I just plan to go to more concerts. I just that was just the best experience ever. Hopefully this year the movies will be great. I mean, there were a lot of other great movies last year, a lot of honorable mentions like Creed 3, Wonka, Air was a really good film, Gran Turismo, Iron Claw, like all these movies were just entertaining. I really enjoyed these films. I wish I could put, a top 10. I don't really want to do a top 20. That's just a long video for you. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Like the video, subscribe, and comment your top 10 or what your favorite movie was of last year, or what movie stood out for you, or which one you prefer, which one you think was the best one. And stay tuned for more content. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.